look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today is Friday, what's the month? March 20th. We've kind of lost track of days at this point, but we just wanted to give you guys an update on how we are doing with this quarantine that's going on right now. And I have Anthony with me here because he was one of the lucky ones to get sick during this time. We don't know if it is/was COVID-19 or not, because they would not test him. So we wanted to kind of tell you guys that experience. I wanted him to kind of shed some light on how he has been feeling and what he has gone through, and then we'll give you an update on just how daily life has been as well. So last Saturday evening, which would have been the 14th, that's when it all started. So go ahead and fill them in on how you have been feeling since then. What?
Sick. Saturday, it started, I just started with the, slight fever and just not feeling very well, and then kind of
Body aches.
Yes. And then just not feeling very well, and then after that, my fever started getting, I wouldn't say super high, but it got to, I think, 101.8, I think was the peak of it. And then, yeah, just the body aches were honestly probably the worst, and then, accompanied with headaches and everything like that. Sunday was pretty much the same thing. Fever down a little bit, but not much, but the headaches were a lot worse. I'm not one that is prone to having headaches, so they weren't fun. I honestly might get 1-2 headaches a year, if that. So having consecutive days with headaches was no bueno. Didn't feel good at all. Still, then I ended up just developing a pretty good cough, and as you can tell, my voice is pretty raspy because of it.
Even still, a week later.
Yeah. So
and then Monday, obviously he works in an industry that can't really shut down during this time. So he was planning to go to work Monday until he got sick, and obviously any signs of sickness and you're asked to stay home. So he did, and he decided to go get checked at urgent care on Monday and hopefully get tested. That was the idea. In case you're new here, I'm 26 weeks pregnant, and then we have a 4- and 6-year-old girl. So we were hoping that he could get tested because he lives with somebody who's pregnant and 2 young kids. But go ahead and share how that experience went.
Yeah, so anyways, I go into the doctor and kind of just go through the motions and let them know what's going on and how I'm feeling and this and that, and just kind of, let them know I have, flu-like symptoms and things like that. But, because I was not having shortness of breath, and I don't have anybody at home that has underlying issues, because pregnancy is not one of those, and no one here is above the age of 65, that I did not qualify to have testing for COVID-19.
But they did test you.
They did test me for the flu, which that in itself sucks. The swab, they put a cotton swab up your, like an extremely large Q-tip up your nose. It pretty much just tickles your eyeball. And it sucks.
But that came back negative.
Very much so. But come to find out that test has a chance of being 25% wrong.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah. So they did do a chest X-ray too, and everything was clear with that. So they determined that they were not going to test him, and it's frustrating to say the least, because of the fact that you see all of these celebrities and the entire NBA, like any teams that were exposed, they're all being tested instantly without question, and someone who has a pregnant wife and 2 kids at home like can't. It just doesn't make sense to me, but I guess that's the way our world works. So that is definitely frustrating, but understandable that they're not testing someone who's not at risk if they were doing it across the board. So I think that's where most of our frustration lies, is that it's not being given equally across the board. So then Tuesday came.
Yeah, Tuesday was the worst. Yeah, Tuesday was pretty bad. My headache was pretty much crippling.
Your back?
My back was just done for. It was just so sore from top to bottom. I don't think I got out of bed until maybe noon, 1 o'clock.
Even barely.
Yeah, even if that.
Just to eat something.
I laid on the floor just to kind of maybe help my back a little bit, but I mean, even at that, it wasn't the best. But I mean, honestly, my head was the worst on Tuesday.
You nausea on Tuesday too.
Yeah, nausea on Tuesday. I think, what's today? Today's Friday. So, yeah, it was Wednesday. Wednesday I was throwing up.
No, that was Tuesday.
Was
it
it
the
Tuesday?
day after your doctor's appointment.
Man, I don't even know at this point.
So Tuesday he was throwing up and his fever got to the highest point, which was like 102.1 or something. That it had been. We were managing it with Advil and Tylenol every 3 hours. So when he did go to the doctor on Monday, they prescribed him Tamiflu, so he was taking that too. Which we obviously aren't doctors, but knowing the flu test was negative, it kind of, I don't know what Tamiflu is supposed to do, but I don't know.
Helps with the flu.
But for the girls and I, things were pretty normal. He would have been at work anyways had he not been sick. So for us, just doing our normal schedule, we all felt fine. We did our homeschool. Obviously their activities were canceled, so that was a little different, but they just had more playtime and more time to kind of just be kids. So I took the time that I could to get the house clean and just tackle stuff that had been building up. So like for the girls and I, our schedule didn't change too much, other than like I'd go to check on him every couple hours. And
5 minutes?
No, it wasn't every 5 minutes. It was
7.
Every couple hours or so, just to make sure he didn't need anything. Most of the time I would try to call or text him, so I didn't have to be around him if I didn't need to. He was quarantined up in the bedroom for most of that time. I slept down on the couch, which is probably more comfortable than our bed, so it was okay with me.
Yeah, because the couch doesn't snore.
Yeah, that helps. But so I've been getting great sleep and everything had been fine. Wednesday evening, so he wasn't nauseous anymore. His body was still really sore. But Wednesday evening, both of the girls started getting a fever. So it was, I think it got up to like 99.9 for Bailey, 99.5 for Quinn. So it was a low-grade fever. And I was just getting prepared for what was going to happen with that they were getting sick. So that was definitely worrisome. We gave them a bath, gave them some Tylenol, put them to bed, and just kind of, they fell asleep pretty quickly and slept a lot that night. They slept in pretty good the next morning. But then Thursday, they both, so this was yesterday, they both had fevers between, their temperatures were between 100 and 102 all day long. Even with Tylenol, we couldn't keep it below 100. So they were on the couch all day watching mostly Curious George and trying to get them to eat what they could. Quinn didn't really have much of an appetite, but we were trying to get them to eat what they could and drink as much water as possible. I called their pediatrician and he said that, I kind of told him everything that was going on with him and that I'm pregnant, and he said I could bring them in if I wanted to, but it really wouldn't be too helpful unless they get like more severe symptoms because of the shortage of tests, that they aren't actually testing. So this was really frustrating to me, and he couldn't believe it when I told him, because he had actually, I'll kind of like go back to this, but he had actually gone for testing one more time while I was on the phone. And our girl's pediatrician, who we absolutely love and trust fully, and is someone who every time we go in there, we're in there an extra 15 minutes just hearing about the latest research from him and stuff. So we love him. And he was telling me that basically he would collect a sample from each of the girls and input it into the system, and then if I think he said Department of Health, I can't remember, whoever's in control of testing it, once they got around to it, were their words that they said to him, they would look at the system and see if they wanted to actually have him send those samples in to be tested. So they weren't even, I mean, he would collect it, but they likely wouldn't even get tested, which is insane to me. Like, so we decided not to bring them into the doctor because of that. He said just keep giving them Tylenol, and if it spiked any higher or if they developed any other symptoms, then to call him back or take them in if it was after hours. In the meantime, he had called the hospital. So, okay, back up.
Fast forward.
Back up. Rewind. On Wednesday, so on Thursday, I was scheduled to have my next OB checkup. And on Wednesday, I called them and said, hey, listen, this is what's going on. These are the symptoms Anthony has had. He went in, got a flu test, got a chest x-ray. Those were clear, but they wouldn't test him for COVID-19. And I didn't know if I should still come into my appointment or not, because we don't know if he has it, but he's definitely sick. So they told me to have him call the hospital directly, and that they should be able to like give the authorization to get him tested, basically, so that I could come in. So he did that, and the person he talked to was completely shocked that they didn't test him. Like,
yeah.
What were her words?
I was pretty much just told her, hey, you know, these are the symptoms I've had since it was Saturday, and, you know, just kind of going over everything with her. And she's like, wow, really? Okay. You know, that she took my information, said she's gonna get me into a location that will do the testing. And so when she let me speak to someone at least to get the scheduling done, that person as well was kind of flabbergasted that I haven't or wasn't tested. But, you know, once again, they made it sound like, yes, they were going to schedule me in to go get a test.
Yeah.
But that just wasn't the case. You know, I get there.
Completely misled.
Yeah.
The next morning, his appointment was.
Yeah, my appointment was the following morning, and when I get there, first thing they said is, just so you know, the tests aren't. We're not guaranteed to give you a test because we're limited, and you're gonna have to make sure you meet the criteria. So my frustration started to mount a little bit, but I wasn't going to show them. I mean, these people are just there doing their jobs.
Yeah, we're not frustrated with the doctors.
No, not at all.
At all. It's just like the government, the CDC, whoever's controlling these tests, the shortage of tests, the fact that they're being given to rich and famous people, no problem, but then, you know, not like normal people. That's what we're frustrated with. So any doctors, nurses, they're all heroes. Like, their hands are tied, and like he was saying, the doctors were so frustrated that they couldn't give it to him, and they were very regretful, and they felt extremely bad. So it is not them that we were frustrated with at all.
And the guy was actually pretty, you know, he was pretty nice, or surprised the fact that, you know, I was so honest with them about everything. And, you know, he kept asking me, you know, are you short of breath? And I kept telling him no. You know, come to think about it, I think he was not trying to, I wouldn't say bait, because I don't think he was trying to bait. He was maybe trying to lead me on because maybe he did want me to take the test, but I wasn't having shortness of breath, and I kept telling him no. I mean, probably 2 or 3 different times I told him no, I wasn't having shortness of breath. And
he probably could have said yes. And
if I would, he did tell me if I would have said yes, he would have given it to me. But
integrity is more important.
I couldn't do it. Knowing that they were short of tests and whatever, but
I mean, because imagine him giving you the test because you lied, and then like someone who's like 70 not being able to get it because that was the one test that was left or something.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's just so yeah, it was frustrating, especially because he drove all the way out there, about like 20-30 minute drive to get out to the clinic that they scheduled him at. He ended up prescribing him with a cough medicine, something to control his cough, and has just been kind of just taking it easy. Luckily we have a massage chair, so he's been sitting in that a lot. I've been rubbing Tiger Balm on his back because it's been the worst part of his body for him is his lower back. But he's still congested and has a cough, but it's not, he's definitely able to function now.
Right.
Least, which is nice.
Thank goodness.
The girls today are completely fine. Like, it's weird. Like, they seriously did not get off that couch yesterday, and today they've been outside playing all day long. So they're completely fine. They haven't had a fever all day, so maybe they're just like super immune because they're kids and they play in the dirt all the time. I don't know. So maybe it just didn't hit them as hard. I am completely fine still.
Thank goodness, knock on wood.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that if I was going to get it, or if I was going to exhibit symptoms, that I would have by now, because it has been a week and I haven't been anywhere else outside of this house, and so if anybody was going to give anything to me, it would be him or the girls. So I think I'm in the clear. Just in case I'm not, I have been frantically trying to get every piece of laundry clean, folded, and put away. We had a meal plan already done through April 5th, but I just made sure, double checked that we had all the ingredients for all that, and then prepped whatever I could, all the cutting, chopping, and stuff like that I could do, so that if I do come down with something, because he's not feeling the best still, so I wanted to try to have everything prepped and ready to go, so it's as easy as possible for him to make dinners and stuff if I do start to show symptoms at all. So I rescheduled my OB appointment till next Thursday, and hopefully I think by then for sure, if I haven't shown any symptoms, then I'm fine.
Right.
So they wanted me to call and let them know the results of the test that we thought he was getting Thursday, but since he didn't get it, obviously we're just gonna wait it out and see what happens. So other than being sick and having the girls be sick a little bit, the whole quarantine thing has been fine for us. We're a homeschooling family, so the girls and I are used to being home a lot. They do.
I'm not.
Yeah, he's not. How are you feeling? Are you going stir crazy a little bit?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
You can't go back to work till Tuesday.
Yeah, which kind of sucks. I mean, I've been working on my phone a little bit, but I feel helpless for my people at work, which sucks because, you know, I don't know. I just enjoy working. I enjoy being around all my coworkers, and
you know they're all busy right now.
Right,
so.
And I know they're busy because I see the emails that we get. I mean, just in the industry that we're in seems to be super busy right now. I don't know how, you know, the phones might be, but nonetheless, I mean, I know the emails are busy, so I know the phone's got to be busy too.
It's hard.
I don't feel bad for staying home, but I feel bad that I'm not able to contribute.
To help, yeah.
So I wish I could work from home, but fortunately that's not an option for me.
And then it's just another one of the frustrations that we've had. Like, we're pretty positive people. We try to look on the bright side of things, so that's what we're doing. I mean, we don't have control of a lot of what's going on, so all we can do is try to enjoy the time we have together, and just make it work the best we can. So, like, we're firmly believers that if there's something that you're not in control of, there's no use in being down about it and letting it affect your life. So we're not letting it affect our life, but we are frustrated just because of the not being able to be tested specifically, just because of the fact that he's planning on taking a couple weeks off when our baby is born, but now he's having to use all of his PTO to be able to get through this week and a couple days that he's having to take off for being sick, and not knowing if it's COVID-19, and it's going to affect what he can take off, the time he can take off to be here with our baby when he's born. So that's frustrating. Just kind of, we're frustrated with like everything that goes along with not being able to be tested, kind of, if that makes sense. So we're hanging in there, we're staying positive. He made some muffins today, those vegetable muffins that I did a video on a couple weeks ago. I'll link it up above and down below in the description if you're bored and want to make some.
I coughed on twice.
No, you didn't. But yeah, so we're just hanging in there, and hopefully this will be over quickly and we will all be able to, I say get back to normal, but like, I don't even know if our world getting back to normal is the best thing.
Right.
I think our world needs to be a lot better than we were before.
Right.
But for our personal life, at least get our personal kind of life, day-to-day schedule back to normal will be nice. But in the meantime, we will just stay quarantined because that's what you all should be doing, and enjoy the time together. You have any final thoughts?
Yeah. I meant, yeah. Take care of your mental. I'm just kidding.
Don't start laughing. You're gonna have a coughing attack. I rest my case.
I'm alright. I'm alright.
Yeah, just take care of yourselves, and especially mental health. Definitely find things to keep you connected to the outside world without actually being in the outside world, because that's important. The next video that I do is going to be going up Tuesday, and it's going to be tips for how to basically homeschool your children, now that a lot of you are forced to do that. So if you are hoping for tips and advice on what to do and how to stay sane with all of that, then stay tuned, because that will be coming up next week. But for now,
stay humble, be kind.
You got it right the first time.
I've been practicing while you're talking.
We'll see you guys next time. What was that?
It's a big ass bumblebee.
Holy cow.
Look at that thing.
That is huge.
The size of a quarter.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine if we had the window open.
Thank God we don't.
That would have been awesome.
But
so now that we have a break, is it? I just got the
what
chills.
was that?
The chills. Is it Tylenol or Tylenol? Because you
Tylenol? 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 I don't know.
Yeah, because you keep
What
saying
do I-
Tylenol.
Tylenol?
I don't know. That's why. Is it Tylenol or Tylenol?
I mean, I think it's an... Is it an O or an A? I don't know.
Tylenol.
I have no idea.
I hope you say it.
Jump into the